to actual legislation. But do they deserve a raise? How many have made huge money trading stocks using their inside info? They've dug us into a $37 trillion hole. But at least Senator Schumer's happy.
There are many good things in this bill that Democrats worked hard for and achieved. Democrats have insisted these agreements must not have cuts, and this bill has no cuts.
Of course he's ecstatic. His staff probably wrote much of it, at least the liberal goodies inside, and all of those little IEDs in the text blowing up on us, such as the provision that makes it even easier for the government to conceal info about the rigged January 6th congressional investigation. That's nice. J.D. Vance knows this all too well. It's a shell game. And he lambasted the process, urging Republicans to pass a temporary funding bill without Democrat giveaways. He also spoke out about what President Trump wants in the bill.
What the president believes is we should support a clean CR so long as it contains a debt limit increase. That's the position of the president, and that's what we're going to try to push.
Guys, I'm telling you, we need counter-revolutionaries. These Democrats have absolutely no fear about the government shutting down. They will do it with glee. They don't give a crap. They're savages. We got to be just as savage, okay? We got to call their bluff. We got to win this chicken game. We're tough, right? We're the conservatives. We always roast the left for being lazy. Well, you know, get some grit. You know, these conservatives, they're not showing the grit that I thought they had. But okay, so we got a couple topics. Fani Willis is out from the just witch hunt investigation versus Trump, against Trump. She is disqualified. She actually was disqualified by the appellate court, saying that she had a conflict of interest, which was very clear. But it took it being sent to the appellate courts for that to happen. We'll go through that. But we're going to cover some of the left's reaction to the bill kind of being stopped, how they're angling it. The fact that they're upset tells me exactly where their head's at. This is good. This exposes people. This is what I love about it. But let's check out some people's reaction to this.
We have some major breaking news. The Republicans are on the verge of shutting down the government because Elon Musk asked them to.
Harry, do you ever stop to think before you post? If the Republicans voted to stop a bill, why would that be? Maybe this is it.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you.
Sounds to me like it's not going to be a single issue bill, and there's going to be a lot of fluff in there, a lot of things that benefit the government that don't really benefit the American people, that they're just trying to slide in there, jam in there.
And there are a couple that are benefiting the American people, but they're going to leave that out. They're going to only show, they're going to tell you, oh, we have all this for relief, for veterans, for blah, blah, blah. But then they're going to stick in their poisonous stuff like pay raises, like paying more into spying, like giving people immunity from being investigated, a bunch of just garbage.
But let's find out for sure.
It's supposed to be about keeping government operations open and providing disaster relief aid to hurricane victims, which I'm sympathetic to. But if you read the bill carefully, it contains pay raises for members of Congress, and I'm not making this up, an expansion of their federal health benefits. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding, including opening up a new stadium in Washington, D.C.
Got it. Thanks, Vivek, for actually telling the truth. And thank you for being there for the American people.
Yep, it's bad, but it's funny how it's very telling the way they're angling it. This is a famous Democrat. I believe he's the House majority. They're in the minority, but they're good. Well, they're going to be the minority. I think they're the majority for now.
We reached a bipartisan agreement to meet the needs of the American people and provide assistance to farmers, families, children, seniors, veterans.
You hear that? The moral blackmail. They think we think like them, but it's kind of working because we have really soft, old conservatives that are rolling over for this. They are not built for this. They are not built for this. They're not young militants like the left.
Men and women in uniform and working.
If we don't get our budget in order, we won't have money for any of them forever. So it is what it is.
Class Americans. House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement
It is not bipartisan.
that they made. House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt everyday Americans all across this country. House Republicans
This guy's going to run for office. Let's see.
will now own any harm that is visited upon the American people. We reached the bipartisan.
Isn't that crazy? But they're so scared to shut down the government. Who gives a crap? Shut it down, man. You're going to own shutting down the government. What has the government done? Yes, people are going to lose their job, but maybe we'll save a little bit of money. Who knows? Who the heck knows?
Congressional Republicans unveiled a short-term deal, like there have been many others in the years I've been covering Congress, to keep the government funded through March 14th of next year. It was a last-minute decision to avert a government shutdown for the holidays ahead of this weekend's deadline. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson agreed to the deal. Democratic Senate
Mike Johnson, man, you
Majority Leader.
got to get some teeth. There are demonic forces in these big cities, man. I know he's from Louisiana. He's a Southern boy. He's a nice guy, but man, you got to have some teeth when you're in DC, when you're in LA, when you're in New York. These people are savages, man.
Chuck Schumer, Dems still have the Senate majority, agreed to the deal, but they apparently forgot to ask Elon Musk. He tweeted more than 70 times against the.
See, this is what they are. This is what they're insinuating. They're insinuating that the democratic process is being sidestepped because of Elon Musk. Now, the thing is, he has a lot of pull in the media. I mean, many leaders do. The thing is, they don't have the same pull. So this is why they're complaining. If the left had a person like Elon Musk that was so influential, oh, wait, they do. They control all the media. They control all the search engines to make them favor their way. They were doing it all throughout the election. So the only reason they're complaining is because he's not on their side anymore.
Deal to keep the government open, telling Republicans to kill the bill. And then once it looked like Musk killed the bill, again, this is all Musk, okay?
This is okay. Keep in mind, this is their angle. Their angle is Musk did this. It's not the American people. It's not people, making a certain, vote no trending. It's all Elon Musk. So listen, we got to keep in mind and understand what their angle is.
Trump and J.D. Vance, do you remember them? Remember those guys? The guys that ran for office? Well, then they were like, they came out against it as well.
Would you support a clean CR?
Well, what the president believes is we should support a clean CR so long as it contains a debt limit increase. That's the position of the president, and that's what we're going to try to push for.
Are you supporting a government shutdown then?
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
There's never any discussion of the debt ceiling in all of this. They pulled it out of nowhere today. But Elon Musk, the guy who's running things in the Republican Party, and I guess the country, says he wants a shutdown. It's not going to hurt him. There's hundreds of billions of dollars. He's already declaring victory on Twitter, posting, "Your elected representatives have heard you." Oh, yeah, us. And now the terrible bill is dead, says the billionaire. The voice of the people, meaning me.
This arrogance from this dude, while their numbers are just going down the tubes, you need to relax, buddy. I know you think this is funny. I know you think you have a paycheck for now. Bro, settle the heck down.
Do you think needs to change in the Trump administration to make sure that we can disrupt the standard operating procedure here?
Well, I think what has to happen is you need to have your audience, and maybe we can team up on this, is just light up their elected members of the House and Senate and hold them accountable every step of the way during the appropriations process, because these politicians in D.C. are always going to go with the lobbyist and the special interest in D.C. unless and until they hear from their constituents back home. We did this with Ketanji Brown Jackson's.
What he said is 100% right. They are so uncomfortable right now. The fact that they're actually having to listen to their constituencies.
Confirmation to the Supreme Court. She almost got 10 Republican votes and ended up where she got 3 and they ran out of town. We're doing this now with these cabinet picks, with Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth. They said they were dead on arrival. And then 3 days later, after we got Americans to call their home state senators and light them up, they went from dead on arrival to when can we start? We need to do that same grassroots.
It is so amazing to see them buckle on Twitter.
Movements on government spending, every step of the appropriations process to hold these politicians accountable and then make them understand if you go with the DC politicians, if you go with the DC lobbyists, the special interest, instead of your constituents back home, we're going to make your lives hell.
Exactly. Let's see what Fox has to say.
And something that's so interesting about this is every single member of Congress has an X account. They can record a video with their phone and talk about how they individually are against all of this outrageous spending. But it's the ex-owner who says that if they ultimately go along with a bill like this, he is going to bankroll a primary against them. It makes Elon Musk the center of the universe on Capitol Hill in a way that nobody has ever seen.
I think you can kind of spare me. I mean, you got to keep in mind there are lobbyists all through that infested city of DC. Yeah, he's more vocal. Yeah, he's more popular. But Soros, all the other military contractors that lobby in DC, the amount of influence, the corrosive, the inappropriate relationship they have with these elected, servants of the community, that's way more inappropriate. The only distinction is the fact that he's a actually popular person and he's actually communicating his bias, his support for different factions. So, you can kind of relax on that, bro.
I get that we always have, every Christmas time, we have these government shutdown fights, and usually they just complain about it and then vote for it anyway. But there has never been an unelected official like Elon Musk.
You got to be careful with Fox. Fox is good, man, but the irony, you have, Fox News, they always have politicians on their show. They always state their opinion. They know the amount of reach they have. The Murdochs, they own Fox News. You got to keep in mind, they are no different, but they want to act like they're above it. They want to act like they're objective news sources. Spare me, please. Murdochs, please spare me. With, New York Post too, spare me.
At the center of it, like this.
Yeah, just spare me, please. The only difference is the people that control you guys on the couch are back at home. They're not in front of everybody. At least Elon Musk has the balls to face everybody. He's not like Soros hiding behind, all of these NGOs. Okay, next topic, Fani Willis, she's out. We'll see if this case gets picked back up, but either way, she's out. She is corrupt. The thing is, when militant Marxists feel like they have a little bit of power, or they feel like they have a little bit of a window, they always end up being corrupt. This happens every time. She thought she was going to get away with it.
Where a Georgia appeals court has just stripped Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from the 2020 election interference case against Donald Trump in that state. Let's bring in Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and former Assistant Manhattan District Attorney Catherine Christian. So, Greg, this filing just came down. It's some 30-plus pages. Walk us through what we know.
Yeah, we're still going through the filing, but we know this completely upends what's expected to be the last criminal case pending against the former president.
They're so mad.
Remember, this case is still ongoing. District Attorney Fani Willis had that very high-profile questions about whether there was a conflict of interest involving former Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Well, this court ruled that there is an apparent conflict of interest that merits her dismissal from the case. I'll read you one quote. While we recognize that an appearance of impropriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare quick case in which disqualification is mandated and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go through the article here in a little bit so we get the details.
The Georgia Court of Appeals disqualifying Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from her prosecution of President-elect Trump and his co-defendants in the election interference case tied to events after the 2020 election. However, the indictment against Trump still stands. Executive editor.
We'll see if it gets picked back up. I mean, it's kind of a sham. I mean, I don't know who's going to want to pick it up.
Editorial producer John Santucci joins me now for more. So,
you can't make this
you
up.
Can't make this stuff up. You walked in and said, I've got another bit of breaking news for you.
Yeah.
What's the latest
This is
on
my
it?
Christmas gift to you.
Yeah,
Clearly,
thanks.
Phil, no problem. But listen, this is really remarkable. So let's bring everybody's minds back to months ago, right? Fulton County, Georgia. Remember that cannot miss TV of Fani Willis, the DA there, and her chief deputy, Nathan Wade, who she had a romantic relationship among.
Do you hear that? She was banging this dude. And all they said was, you got to fire him. Nah, that's so inappropriate.
Some period of time testifying about that relationship because Donald Trump and his defense team, along with the other 18 defendants in that case, all said, wait a second. You cannot have this relationship. They were, putting Nathan Wade on the books. He was a special assistant district attorney.
All right, let's read this. Elected district attorney of Fulton County, Georgia, November 2020. First, okay, who cares? First black, who cares? Becoming an assistant district attorney in 2001, handled 100 plus jury trials, created Fulton County's DA offices. First pre. I mean, that doesn't really. Atlanta's a. I mean, is it Atlanta? I assume. Yeah, Fulton County. Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? This is just a woke freaking judge.
This is all improper. So what happened in the original court ruling is that the judge basically gave DA Willis an option. Said, look, Nathan Wade's got to go or you and your office have to go. What happened? She made a decision. She got rid of Nathan Wade. Trump's team.
You hear that? That's all she did.
And turned around and said, not good enough. Right. We want you all to go. The Court of Appeals took up that case. The Court of Appeals has now ruled. And what the court has said, Phil, in their ruling is that there was no other option but to disqualify the district attorney to restore public confidence. Now, process-wise, what does that mean?
Right.
That means that the DA and the DA's office, the Fulton County District Attorney's office, is completely removed from this case. Does not mean the case goes away. Georgia has a policy that when this happens, it basically goes to a board of other DAs, and they decide on another office in the counties around Fulton that would pick it up. So another district attorney would then take the case.
I mean, like many people say, like some people are saying this looks bad, like no one's going to pick it up. It's kind of a crappy, man, I'm letting you know, black women too. I mean, it's not about race, but a lot of these Marxists, man, they don't care about their freaking reputation. They're gonna pick it up.
But Fani Willis, who campaigned on this, who said that she was going to make it her mission to get Donald Trump for what she said he did in Fulton County, trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election, completely removed. It is a stunning.
I believe this is the trial where he said, "Go and get me some votes. Like I need to get some votes. Go and find me some votes." I think that's what this case is about. Man, I can't keep up with all these freaking stupid cases.
If I remember correctly, that was a problem too. She campaigned on the issue, and they brought that up.
100%, and it only fueled the defense's argument here.
So let me just ask you.
Oh, let's go past that just really quickly and act like that's not a big deal, but still, like, are you kidding me?
Because there are people who pled guilty, who pleaded guilty already. What happens to them?
It really raises a lot of questions on the process now, because basically a new DA will take the case and the new DA would decide what to do. Now, in theory, if you've already made a deal, the deals would hold. But if you're a defendant, you could possibly switch it up. The whole thing could go away. Look at what's happened on the federal level with the Trump cases brought by special counsel Jack Smith, the documents and the 2020 efforts to overturn the election.
Also, you got to be careful, man, because the thing is, I think a lot of this stuff happened because she felt like Trump was not going to win, so she was protected, because it's clearly politically motivated. And you can't do that. So there's statutes that go into, making sure that you're fair and you could be disbarred and all of these different things, right? I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying she thought she was protected. She's not protected. I don't know if people are going to take the risk, because now Trump's in power. He can go after the people that politically motivated went after him.
Both of those have gone up in smoke. So if you're Trump and the other defendants saying, okay, now everybody's thrown off the case. The DA that was running the show just got thrown out of the movie theater. So maybe let's see what happens.
At the very least, raise your hand and
Absolutely.
say, hey, let's look at this again, right?
Totally.
I mean,
So
that's what's happening.
It is an unbelievable change of events. And again, when you think about what's going on with Donald Trump right now, right? The way that he even said recently, everyone's trying to be my friend. Right. People are coming down to Mar-a-Lago to see him. These cases were the thing that everybody thought would take Donald Trump out. They're just going away.
Well, every time everybody says this is what's going to take Donald Trump out, it doesn't.
Stronger and stronger. It is remarkable.
Yeah. Well, all right. John Sanchez.
Okay, ABC, being fair, actually, they're not like MSNBC, they're not like CNN. They're actually, it seems like they're actually a little bit more fair. Okay, so I highlighted some portions of this article that are going to make this make a lot more sense. Fani's is officially kicked off of Trump's case. I highlighted some parts according to the 31-page decision handed down Thursday. The state's appeals court ruled that there was, in fact, a conflict of interest that arose when Willis hired special prosecutor Nathan Wade and proceeded to have an undisclosed affair with him during the prosecutorial process. Okay, that's a no-go. While he recognized that an appearance of impropriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings. The ruling reads, finding that the lower court's remedy was insufficient. Judge Scott McAfee, the Fulton County trial judge, who had presided over Democrat DA's prosecutorial misconduct proceedings earlier this year, ultimately allowed Willis to remain in charge of the case so long as Wade resigned. Ooh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I wasn't keeping up with this freaking garbage. There's so much to keep up. After carefully considering the trial court's findings, the appeals court found that McAfee erred by failing to disqualify DA Willis and her office. Dang. So, yeah, they're all gone. Since the appeals court. So my hypothesis also, because some people say that there was special communication between Biden and her and Wade as well. So my hypothesis is no one else is going to pick it up because I don't think Biden can make the guarantees that I'm sure they had worked around in the back rooms to get protection in case something happened. That's my hypothesis, and at least not in time. Since the appeals court declined to toss out the case entirely, that means another prosecutor could, in theory, take it over. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to highlight. Yeah, my hypothesis is that I don't think this gets picked back up. I wonder what the time frame is between now and when they have to find somebody else to pick it up. I don't know. I don't think it can just be hanging over. But man, I don't know. This is a big blow. This is a big media blow. The momentum. I think momentum is a real thing. The momentum's on Trump's side. Yeah, I don't think that it's. I think it's a stupid. If it's what I think it's over, which I totally apologize. I don't know what it's over. I can't keep up with all of these election interference trials. It's probably really stupid because Trump won 2022, but that's another story. All right, y'all. That's all I got for today. I'm out. Stay blessed. Peace.